Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? It is Wednesday. Carrie is not here today. She has some work stuff that came up. Her schedule's changing. All of that with the back to work stuff. So we're trying to figure out when she's going to come live with us again. She is wanting to do that, but I don't know when that's going to happen. So while we're waiting on folks to join, be sure to go to coopedup.com. Check out my website. If you are on Instagram, follow me. I'm Cooped Up. That's how you can follow me there. Click the bell wherever you are watching this to get notified that I have come live or posted something. And last but not least, send me a text. Just say, hey girl, hey. 214-949-8599. That signs you up for my email blasts, or my text blasts rather, that I do sporadically. I'm planning to do some next week around Amazon Prime Day. So to get you the deals. Hey, Mama, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yesterday I was country. Today I don't know what accent that is. Weirdo. I'm such a weirdo. So I hope everyone is doing well. I had an interesting conversation today with someone, actually someone who watches regularly. We have had an uptick in car thefts in our neighborhood recently. In the last couple of months, there have been a number of very nice cars that have been stolen directly out of people's driveways. Some of them have been their front driveways. Some of them have been their back driveways, but they've been stolen, and they're luxury cars, Range Rovers, Tahoes, stuff like that, right? I don't know what the other one was, but anyway. It was interesting, though, the thing we discovered this morning that most of these things have in common is that the people left their keys in their car overnight. Yeah. I know if you live in the country, like I think Monica probably leaves her keys in her car because they live out in the middle of nowhere and they have dogs and they have a gate and all that kind of stuff. I totally get that. But if you live within the shadow of the skyscrapers downtown or wherever in a populous area, I can't imagine leaving my keys in the car. I actually have been told not to leave my keys in the car anyway, because somehow the newer cars, the keys, like if you have one of those where you can just touch the handle and it opens, it unlocks and opens, like I don't have to get my key out of my pocket for any reason. Or if you have it where you can push the button to start it, you're not supposed to leave your keys in the car anyway, because somehow it doesn't let the car go to sleep and it runs the battery down. It messes with the computer system, all that kind of stuff. But I just cannot imagine leaving my keys in the car. I don't even leave my keys in the car. I don't even leave my car unlocked in the driveway. Like if I've just walked in the house for a little bit, like that weirds me out. I also am one of those weirdos who puts a seatbelt on just to move his car in the driveway, because it feels weird to me to operate my vehicle without some sort of pressure on my chest. But that whole conversation about leaving the keys in the car and stuff started us talking about the good, quote unquote, good old days, right? A lot of people like to say, "Oh, I remember the good old days when you could leave your house front door open at night, or you could go on vacation and not lock your house up." Why would you do that? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, I would not sleep well at night. Even in a crime-free environment, I would not sleep well at night if my front door, if I'm knocked out asleep in my bedroom and the front door is unlocked. That's not happening. Even in like the best of times, I just can't imagine doing that. Like, and again, I'm not judging. It sounds like I'm judging. I'm not judging. I am just making observations about that. I don't know. My granddaddy used to have a phrase. He used to say that things like barbed wire fences and such were there to just keep honest people honest. Not because it provided tremendous protection, but it just kept people honest, and people who were generally honest, in case the moment struck them, they had an opportunity. Sometimes, I mean, who knows? I mean, it's just weird to me. Eric is saying, growing up in Iowa, no one ever took the keys out of the car. We never locked our house either. There's probably still a lot of that there. I don't know. I wouldn't want my house to be unlocked. I really don't. I don't get that. But I guess Everybody has their reasons for it. Like, what's the benefit of not locking your house door when you go on vacation? Because Todd has a story about friends when he was growing up where they would pick up the mail or whatever, and they would be like, "Oh, just put it in the front door. The front door is always unlocked," and they're gone for like 2 weeks on vacation. Like, I don't understand. What's the rationale behind that? Like, just not locking your house door, especially if people know you're out of town. I mean, I guess it's a lot easier to know people are out of town now than it was before because you're checking in and you're showing pictures and all of that kind of stuff. But I couldn't sleep at night if my door were unlocked. And, you know, Suzanne, who watches frequently, she had a situation. I can't even sleep at night if the alarm is not set because I want to hear the beep, beep, beep. And I want all the bells and whistles going off around me if someone opens a door. Suzanne had a situation 10 years ago, 15. I've known Suzanne forever, so I don't remember. You get to an age, you know, where everything seems like it was just 2 years ago, and it turns out it was like 10 or 15 years ago. She had a situation where they woke up in the middle of the night, and there was a man standing at the foot of their bed with a gun or a knife or something like that. I may be getting the story a little bit mixed up. And the door was locked, but they hadn't set their security alarm. And so they got robbed, didn't do anything else to my knowledge, and they didn't actually harm Suzanne or her husband, Doug, but still, I mean, crazy. And I can't remember if it was long enough ago that you had Riley or their son or not. Probably, though. Yeah, weird, right? What are y'all doing for Father's Day? Those of you who have fathers to celebrate or who are fathers themselves. I'll tell you what we're doing. It's not what I expected, but it's the ultimate in adulting. That is a theme of the month of June. I'm getting a new differential in the RV. Gracie's getting some new guts. So I had to learn what a differential was. I actually knew what it was. I didn't know that that's what it was called. So basically, it is this thing that, so the engine runs and there's this rod that kind of comes out of it and it spins and it feeds into this other thing that then converts that energy that's going this way to go this way out to the tires, right? That thing is called the differential. It differentiates. I don't know why they call it that. That's what it's called. The one on the RV was starting to make noise on our last trip. We noticed it. And it was kind of a whining noise. And we had to look at everything else on the planet. Unfortunately, we have an extended warranty, but I think it's still going to cost like $5,000 to get this damn thing replaced. But they looked at everything else other than that. And turns out that was some metal shards. It was starting to fall apart on the inside. So a differential it is. Oh, that's nothing like love. Now, the kids aren't getting that from me. I don't know the kids have anything planned yet. We're not quite to that age where they're able to go out and buy stuff themselves. They can make something. I got a whole crafting studio over here. I don't know if I want that. So, Stuart says, we found a diesel pusher in Georgia. I'm getting a thumbs up so far. Yeah. Send me the link. Because and I'll send it to Todd too, and he'll know all of the ins and outs and all that stuff. So, and my mom had to replace one on her Durango. I need to be drinking today. I know, Michelle. I'm trying to back off of it some. This, and my joints and everything else. I'm trying to conserve alcoholism, my alcohol intake, as well as energy these days. What are y'all doing? They keep talking about this warning here in Texas that we got to conserve energy because there's not enough of it to go around in the summer. Because I guess I think there was a nuclear reactor or something. By the way, I've told you this before. I thought it was nuclear, like the president did, until he made that mistake. A nuclear reactor. I think there's a fire at it or something, and it pulled it out of commission. And we run it just like really close to, like, our margins are really tight anyway. That has caused a bunch of havoc. And as I mentioned yesterday, they're recommending people to turn up their ACs to 78. And when you sleep in, to turn it up to 82. And as I said yesterday, even Satan can't sleep in a room that's 82 degrees. I got the joke right this time. I fucked it up yesterday. So Todd and I had a conversation about what we were going to do to conserve energy. And I'm not going so far. We're not going so far as to sleep in an 82-degree room. That is not going to happen because there would be no sleeping happening. It would just be tossing and turning. Everyone would be miserable, all of that. But so our house has 4 air conditioner systems. We have agreed that we are going to turn 3 of them up during the day so that they're not running as much. And we'll turn the pool pump off too, but we'll turn 3 of them up during the day. Just the one that, because Todd's still working from home, so he has to have air in the one area. Unfortunately, his office and our bedroom are on the same system. And then at night, we are going to turn the downstairs ones up even more because we're not downstairs. And the 2 upstairs ones, we will keep it temp. So that's as good as it's going to get. I'm sorry. And someone today she didn't do it on purpose. She wasn't doing it to make me feel like a dick, but it was like in the comments on something, it's like all these people who are talking about, I'm not doing it. Think about the old people who could die, the nanas and grandpas of the world. And I was like, man, now I feel like a jerk. So I'll turn down 3 of them, or up 3 of them rather. But I learned something interesting new today about that. Did you know that it's not the energy consumption at the houses isn't what's making a big deal. It is the offices that are making the big deal. And so that's where they need, during the day, offices to do things to conserve energy. And it got me thinking about that. I wonder how many so Todd's office is technically open, but like 20% of people are there. Carrie was telling me earlier today, she had to go into her office and she's like, it's a ghost town. There's only like a few people here. Are those offices running the lights and the air? I'm not calling out these 2, just using them as examples. But are offices downtown, like the towers or just regular office buildings, are they running at full tilt? Are they doing all of the electricity and all of the HVAC for 20% of their staff? Like, I'm interested to know that. And I don't even know how they would change that if they have some people in other than just send everybody home, which we've done before. It's not that big of a deal. And then I was also thinking about, like, our family, are we using more energy than normal because Todd is still working from home, but I've gone back to the office. And so the office wasn't using that much power before, but now it is because I got a full office full of 6, 7 people now. And the house is running, at least the part where Todd is. And then Todd's actual office is running too. So, and Michelle said, I'm just turning lights off. Well, here's the other thing, like turning off the light. That's great. Every little bit helps. But so many of our lights are LED lights now. I don't even know if they even use that much energy. I mean, I think I've seen the bulbs on, like when you buy the LED bulbs, they're like, this bitch is going to last for 25 years and it's going to use 25 cents electricity every year. Doesn't actually say that, but you know what I mean. I guess collectively, if there are millions of LED bulbs burning, yes. But me turning off the lights in my house, many of which are LED, is that just a drop in the pail? Like, how does that work? So, Eric says, I think the HVAC pretty much goes all or nothing. You can turn lights off. I agree. I think that's true. Drew is asking me, I like your little goat picture. Sweet tooth. Would you happen to have an above average chicken enchilada recipe? So I do. It is the gringoest chicken enchilada recipe ever, but I have never made it where everyone was not like, oh my God, this is the best recipe ever. It is from Trisha Yearwood, the country music singer who is married to Garth Brooks. You can probably Google it. Trisha Yearwood. Actually, I'll just Google it for you. Trisha Yearwood chicken enchilada recipe. How do you spell Trisha Yearwood? Trisha Yearwood chicken enchilada. It is so good. So I have to, a lot of chicken. I'm allergic to sour cream. I think I've told y'all this before. And only sour cream. Okay, I've got the recipe for you here. I'm going to drop it. Drew, I'm dropping it in the comments now. This is a fan favorite. Monica's had it, loves it. We have friends who specifically request this recipe. when I'm like if we're on vacation or I'm in charge of cooking or something. It is so good. It is so good. But very gringo. It is not like super Mexican tasting. Because it uses corn tortillas or flour tortillas. Let's start with that. Very good though. But like I'm allergic to sour cream, so a lot of chicken enchilada recipes have sour cream in them. And my issue, if I eat sour cream, I have a digestive allergy, and I will tell you, I've destroyed many a restroom at a restaurant because something had sour cream in it. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not proud of this moment, but I've destroyed plenty of front seats of cars too, because I'm like, it's coming. It's here. Yes. So I have to avoid sour cream at all costs. Late in life, I love sour cream too. Late in life allergy. When I was like 25, I started being a little intolerant to it, and it's great. But I can have Greek yogurt, which is actually what I substitute most of the time if I'm making a recipe that needs it. I can have ice cream, milk, cheese, everything. Just not, there's an enzyme in sour cream that I cannot have. So Monica's saying their air conditioner is programmed to change at certain times throughout the day. So I've heard mixed things on that though. I've read, not just heard someone talk about it. I've read that actually does not save as much energy, or sometimes not at all, as people think it does, because if you let your house get hot during the day, it depends on the ranges. If you let your house heat up during the day, it has to work super hard to cool it down. And a lot of the times it's working super hard at the hottest part of the day. Like here in Texas, the hottest part of the day is it's like right now, between 4:30 to 6:30. Around 5 to 6 o'clock is the hottest part of the day here in Texas. And so if you're just getting home and your AC is now like, fuck, it's hot inside and it's hot outside, I gotta cool it down. It runs full tilt. And sometimes, depending on your house, like our house, I think it is better to run it at a consistent temperature at all time, just because it takes so much energy to bring it back down. But I've heard conflicting things on that. I honestly think that a lot of these things are more feel-good measures than effective. But anyway, I learned something interesting today, talking about employees. So we keep getting new clients, and I'm not going to complain about that, but I also have to hire people to work these jobs. And it is hard to find people right now just because there's so many openings at the moment. And I was talking about like people leaving companies, going to companies, I was talking to my staff about it, about how they weigh it and all of that kind of stuff, benefits. And I'm very generous to my staff about work wherever you need to work. Just get your shit done. If you want to take every Friday off, I am fine with that as long as it doesn't impact your workload. We don't even count PTO. It's unlimited PTO, right? Paid time off. So I'm very generous in those ways. And I think in pay as well. One of them was telling me that a friend of hers works for another PR firm here in town. And that PR firm, during the blizzard, remember the blizzard back in February that we had? If your house lost power and or internet and you were unable to work, that company forced you to take your PTO. Your earned PTO, you had to take the day off and count it against your PTO. That's some bullshit. That is one of those things that makes people leave. Like, I just think it's one of those, like, it's just tacky, right? Like, that's why I don't nitpick about stuff either. Because I think it just all kind of love them first. Like, just, I don't know. What do y'all think about that? Do any of y'all work for a company where if you lost power or electric during a mass power outage or mass electricity outage, that the company would make you take your paid time off, vacation time or sick time? It's just gross. And the funny thing is, this is a company that acts like they care so much about their employees. That's like their outward facing image. Food. I had lunch today. I had an interesting experience at lunch today. So I have this friend that I've known probably about 5 years now. He's in his mid-20s. It's not like that. I have a lot of respect for him. He has a lot of respect for me. We enjoy talking to each other. I kind of feel like I'm a big old gay uncle to him. He's gay too. A big old gay uncle to him, and he bounces ideas off of me. And, having conversations with younger people makes me feel like I'm still in touch and such. And so we had lunch today, fantastic, like 2-hour lunch at a vegetarian restaurant. And I've only eaten at a vegetarian restaurant one other time that I know of in my entire life. And this one it's here in our neighborhood. It's cute. It's called Tribal. And I will say, though, the food was great. The food was good. We had vegan queso. It tasted lovely. I would not call it queso. It was more like carrot hummus. Still delicious. Tasted great on chips, but vegan hummus or vegan queso. And then I just had some sort of veggie burrito kind of thing. It looked like a Chipotle thing, but didn't have any meat in it. It had an egg in it, and it was very good. And I put some of that queso on it. But a lot of the things there, like just the lengths that I'm a carnivore, or I'm an omnivore rather, but I love meat. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the things on the menu, it was like, I would not think about that. I would not think to use that in that way. And I'm sure people like it. It's a very popular restaurant. So I'm sure, and it seems to be doing very well. So I'm sure that it is good. But vegan queso. So I do have I've talked about this before. I just with the vegetarian and vegan lifestyle and just other things like that, like calling something that it is very much not possible to be. Like, why would you call it vegan queso instead of calling it like, I don't know what it was actually made out of. It looked orange, so I'm going to say carrots. Like, why not call it like carrot hummus or carrot dip or carrot something else? Like, is it because people want, or cashew? It's made out of cashews is what Michelle is telling me. Like, but that's not queso. That's not queso. And then Stuart is saying the weirdest vegan thing I ever had was bologna. I couldn't figure out how that ever came to exist. I agree. Like how? Because bologna is just like, isn't bologna just like the lunch meat version of a hot dog? Like it just all the stuff mixed together and then they slice it, right? So like, why? If you were, most people who are vegetarian are vegetarian for one of two reasons. It's either animal rights reasons or environmental, right? There's arguments that it's a highly toxic industry for our environment, right? I'm still eating a steak. We're having salmon tonight. Do vegans not eat anything that's ever had a face, right? Or anything that came from something that had a face, basically. So no milk, no dairy, no eggs, anything like that, right? But like vegan leather, like you're opposed to leather because it is the skin of an animal. So why not just call it something different, right? Like I don't understand that. And or I'm trying to think of what else. I'm even on turkey bacon, and that's meat pretending to be meat. Like you can't make bacon out of a turkey. And it doesn't taste the same. So just call it turkey strips or turkey breakfast treat or something like that. Yeah. Nothing with the eyeballs. That's Michelle's vegetarianism and veganism. The VeggieTales have faces. That's awesome. So you can't eat the broccoli or the carrot or the apple. I guess not apple because that's not a veggie. I don't know. I've only seen VeggieTales is one of those things where I was like, oh, this is cute. Let's let it watch it. And then it got real Jesus-y all of a sudden. And I'm not opposed to like, I'm Christian and I pray and all that kind of stuff. I'm not opposed to it. It's just when it hits me out of nowhere and it felt very kind of indoctrinating. And so I was like, okay, let's not do that anymore. But yeah, you can't eat VeggieTales. Anyway, and Jody, yeah. It was everything I had was delicious. I'm not going to say I dislike the restaurant. The only other time I've eaten there, because that's the only vegetarian restaurant I've ever eaten in, and I've eaten there twice now. The next day, I swear it was the House of 1,000 Farts. Like I was so gassy. So hopefully I hope I do not relive that experience. By the way, is the quality any better? I texted my mom and sister yesterday. I'm using a different browser. I'm trying something new because I've noticed the other one that my Chrome browser starts to get kind of like bogged down. And so I switched over to Firefox, and it seems like it might be a little clearer. I'm not entirely sure. Tawana loves tribal. That's where I was. I'm plant-based pescatarian eater, but love me some fried turkey during the holidays. I know. It was cute. I just didn't understand the menu. Like I didn't know. I got there a little bit late. He was ready to order. I felt pressured to pick something. I'm like, that looks good. Burrito. I'll take a burrito. Oh, I think I had a breakfast burrito even at that. So Eric and I, who are having lunch next week, rest assured that you and I will not be eating vegan next week. No. If it's got a face, I probably want to eat it. Like I literally cannot think of an animal that is made into food that I either haven't eaten or would be okay eating. I mean, within reason. Like, let's not get crazy to alligator. I can eat it. I have eaten alligator. It doesn't taste. It just tastes like grainy, like thing. Catfish. Ugh, catfish is the worst. I do not like the texture of catfish, but I like all other fish. Salmon. We're having salmon tonight, but I bought at Aldi's yesterday. Have y'all seen? Are y'all on TikTok? I assume you're on. Some of you are on TikTok. So there's this new TikTok trend that is going around. Monkey meat. No, Michelle, I'm not eating monkey meat. Well, I might not knowingly. I'm not going to actively seek out monkey meat to eat. If I were in Thailand or Japan or China and they were serving it, I would probably give it a shot because I'm not afraid of stuff like that. But here in Dallas, Texas, if you got monkey meat on the thing, I'm probably like, nah, I'm gonna pass. Where'd you get that? I had to live off of iguana tacos for a week once, Stuart is saying. Now that's a story. Need to have you on as a guest to tell the stories. So back to what I was saying. On TikTok, there is this trend now where people are, it's a new way or a different way of taking the pit out of an avocado. And people are acting like it is the most amazing thing that they have ever discovered in their life. And life-changing. And basically what they're doing is they are taking an avocado, cutting it in half, and then opening it, taking the half that has the seed in it, the pit, and then from the back they're going like that, and it pushes the seed out and it pops it out. Everyone's acting like this is the biggest fucking thing ever. I have so many problems with that. First of all, if I've got the avocado and I already have the knife in my hand, I'm going to pit the avocado the way I always have. Just kind of smack the knife against the pit and twist it a little bit, and it comes out and it sticks to the knife, and your hand doesn't get dirty, and I just kind of knock it off with a knuckle into the trash can, or just kind of swipe it off like that. I don't get avocado on my hand. My other issue with this new TikTok, this is why I wish Carrie were on today. She had a work thing that came up and couldn't be on. But my other thing about popping a seed out of an avocado that way is avocados get mushy as it is. I'm not wanting to like bruise it on the back, like pushing it out. I would think that you ruin like a third of your avocado by doing that. I want it nicely done. I did learn a trick early on in the pandemic about the best way to slice avocado is that you cut it open, you pull the seed out, and then you put them both face down, and you just chop a little bit off of the ends to kind of create a square edge, and then you peel it off. And then it's perfectly shaped, and then you can slice it, and it's not all mushed and gushed. Because I've tried tools, even got this thing that looks like a strainer that you kind of drag across it that does it. It always ends up smushed also. I found that that's the best way, to just a little bit off of each end to create a corner that you can then peel it off. Works so well. How do y'all peel avocados? Let me know. Poor Claire. She ordered this package on Amazon herself a couple of 2 weeks ago, knowing full well it says that it's going to arrive between the 9th and the 15th of June, right? And she ordered it before that, closer to the 1st of June. And she's been waiting patiently. Is it here yet? Is it here yet? Is it here yet? And it's not here yet. And Amazon doesn't seem to know where it is. It says it's with USPS, and USPS says it's awaiting a delivery scan or something, and that it was out for delivery 2 days ago. So what are your bets? Hey, Diane, you're a former letter carrier. Does that mean it is still in the system if it's just awaiting the delivery scan? Or was it taken to the wrong place? Are we never getting it? Is it sitting down at that post office on Center Street? What do we need to do to get our mail? Poor Claire she's been so patient every day. Is it here yet? And she's not even getting mad about it. I think that, thank you, Amazon, for this maturity lesson, though. Monica's saying she uses a spoon to get the avocado out of the shell. So I used to do that, but it still just gets all mushy. You end up molesting it. I did not want to do that. And so Diane peels them, like I said, just a tiny little bit. I mean, literally just enough to create a corner, and it just comes right off. It's the best way to do it. And then the last thing I have today is I want to commend the little town of Rowlett, Texas. So there's this little town of Rowlett, Texas. It sits between Dallas and Rockwall. Basically, it's on the banks. It's kind of in the middle of a lake, actually, on a peninsula and around one side of it. Just east of Dallas. It is in the tiniest little county called Rockwall County. Super conservative, very, very, very red. And their mayor, Tammy Dana Bastian, who I've worked with before on a project. I actually worked on a big project in Rowlett. It was miserable and I hated it. And I'm glad we didn't, when that project ended, I was very happy about it. And unfortunately, I was on the opposite side of the table from this mayor, Tammy Dana Bastian, who I did not like her at the time, but I did come to respect that she is very serious about her job. She is very serious about respecting all of her constituents and all of the residents of there. And so she made a proclamation early this month that, and this town is tiny, maybe 20,000 people. I don't know. And tiny for being immediately on the hip of Dallas. And so she made a proclamation for Pride Month a couple weeks ago, and they're going to light up the water tower and all of that stuff. And 3 of the city council members, I guess the mayor is able to do these things there, and 3 of the city council members were opposed to it. They started circulating petitions and getting preachers involved and all that stuff and saying, no, I can't do this. My religious beliefs don't allow me to, even though we are not Sharia law and we are not a theocracy. Your religious beliefs should not really play into your governing. But that's aside. But last night they had an open forum where they could talk. It wasn't a vote. They weren't rescinding it or anything yet. I don't think it's going to happen. But they let the public come out. So for hours and hours of people came out. We're all Rowlett residents in support of this. It was amazing. It was wonderful. And then Tammy Dana Bastian, the mayor of Rowlett, at the end stood up and she was like, I'm here to represent all of my constituents. So it's not about my beliefs. It's not about if some of them don't like it or not. So there's a whole lot of, well, I'm a Bible person and blah, blah, blah. And it's against the Bible, which that's up for argument. But they just did some, Rowlett. Eric is saying Rowlett's population is 62,000. I had no idea it had that many people. Wow. But still, it is small compared to Dallas. It is one of the small inner suburbs. I think it is it sandwiched between, because Dallas touches it or something, and there's Garland and Mesquite, and it's on that east side. But anyway, good for them. So if any of y'all live in Rowlett and you know Mayor Tammy Dana Bastian, please give her a high five for me. I don't know if she will know who I am. Just say the tall, blonde, skinny boy or not skinny. The tall blonde, that's old me. The tall blonde guy who represented the Bayside developers. She'll know exactly who I am. And that I think major props up to her. So good job. And go Rowlett on that. There's not many times I'll say go Rowlett, but this is one of them. So, all right. Well, that's all I have for today. I've gone over. I always tend to do that. Anyway, unless y'all have anything else, what's the story on my shirt? So it says, love first, love first, love first. It's from J. Crew. I saw Or I guess I should take that off the screen so you can see it. See, it's from J. Crew, and it's their Pride shirt. I saw Nate Berkus and Jeremiah Brent wearing it on their Instagram and had to have it myself. And I think that it benefits the Trevor Project or PFLAG. I can't remember. It probably says in the label who it benefits. Can you see it? I think it says PFLAG on it. Alrighty. Well, with that, and Diana's telling me to wait. Just hang on a little bit longer for the mail. I will tell Clary we got an antsy 12-year-old. Don't want to wait any longer. Alrighty. Well, I love you. It's important to know you are loved. Love first. Love always wins. It's good stuff. I love that you watched this. Thank you. Sorry, Carrie couldn't be here today. I don't know if she'll be on this week. I am trying to get her tracked down. With them being back to work part-time, it's kind of hit or miss. She'll definitely be on next week, though. We're trying to figure out what day for that, though, too. All righty. Well, I will see you tomorrow at 4:30 for an episode of Cooped Up Live, should I say. Talk to you later. Bye. Bye.